It's mid-July here in the Upper Arkansas River Valley, and wanted to bring you another fishing report, give everybody a little update on some weather, flows, and just what's happening with the bug life and the fish here on the Arkansas River and our high mountain lakes. So jumping right in, we'll talk about the river real quick here. Most people do come to fish the Arkansas, so want everybody to have the most up-to-date info on that. Our weather's been hot, like really hot, the last few days, but the forecast shows that we have rain in the forecast for the next 10 days at least, and so I think we've kind of working our way into some monsoon season and afternoon thunder showers. So that's good to see, because had it stayed as hot as it was the last few days, we'd be a little more worried about our fish. But even with those hot days we had in the 90s, our river's still at 700 CFS, and we expect it to be at that for quite a while, which keeps plenty of oxygen in the water, keeps that water cool. And so here on the Arkansas River, we really don't have as many issues with that hot water and low oxygen content that some of the other rivers do that aren't nearly as swift and high in elevation. So our fish did just fine through this last warm period. It's been triggering a lot of bug activity, and things have been good. So on those hot days, though, we did see kind of midday those fish were kind of hunkering down deep, slowing down on feeding, but the mornings were just on fire, and so were the evenings. And I think with this cloud cover we have in the next few weeks, we're going to have just lights out fishing morning, midday, and evenings. So the Arkansas River is just prime right now. I mentioned a little bit earlier, the flows are right at 700 CFS at the Wellsville gauge, which puts them a little right around that in Browns, and a little lower above BV, but it's perfect for fishing. The water's clear. It's been dry, so unless we get some really big rainstorms, some of this rain that we're getting, I think is just going to soak right into the ground, and hopefully we don't see any major isolated flash floods and stuff like that on the creeks and muddying up the river. But we've been out on the river a lot, fishing, doing real well on our guided trips on the Ark, and so mornings have been really good. Dry fly activity, the chubbies, orange chubbies, purple chubbies downstream, and red guide savers, caddis, a lot of stuff. If you can get something a good drift on something tight to the bank. Here lately, they've been really eager to eat dry flies in the morning and the evenings, caddis especially in the evening, elk hair caddis, those sort of things. As things kind of slow down, the dropper's been working really well with PMDs coming off midday. It's been good throwing any kind of mayfly dropper. That pheasant tail is always, a bead-headed pheasant tail is always going to work pretty well here on the Arkansas. So not real, the fish aren't super selective right now. It's just kind of about placement and time of day and what that sun's doing. So I'm super excited for this next week to come and have a little cloud cover throughout the day, and I think fishing's going to be really good. Moving on to the high mountain lakes. The spawn is pretty much over, and so now those fish are kind of moving, running those shallows, and just kind of in their feeding patterns, cruising in and out of that deep water, working those shelves. Had a trip a few days ago up at one of our high lakes, and we did really well. We were looking for a few big fish, but we caught a lot of smaller fish, but it was fun catching those cutthroats on dry flies. And the dry flies that we're working were caddis, small orange stimulators, and then a black ant. Those fish up there love those black ants. So, get up there early before that wind starts blowing and before the clouds roll in, these thunderstorms we're going to have. So you're going to want to hit those lakes early in the morning, and be kind of down below tree line when you can. So that's kind of what we got going on here on the Arkansas River in the Upper Arkansas River Valley. If you are interested in getting out on the water, give us a ring. We can book you on a float trip or get you up to a high mountain lake trip. We're getting busy, so if it's something you're thinking about, make sure and give us a call sooner rather than later, so we can make sure and get you out on your trip. Let's hook an adventure.